So she spake, but they had halted and called each to the other. And they brought Odysseus to the sheltered place, and made him sit down, as Nausicaa bade them, the daughter of Alcinous, high of heart. Beside him they laid a mantle, and a doublet for raiment, and gave him soft olive oil in the golden cruse, and bade him wash in the streams of the river. Then goodly Odysseus spake among the maidens, saying, I pray you stand thus apart, while I myself wash the brine from my shoulders, and anoint me with olive oil, for truly oil is a long stranger to my skin. But in your sight I will not bathe, for I am ashamed to make me naked in the company of fair-tressed maidens. Then they went apart, and told all to their lady. But with the river water the goodly Odysseus washed from his skin the salt scurf that covered his back and broad shoulders, and from his head he wiped the crusted brine from the barren sea. But when he had washed his whole body, and anointed him with olive oil, and clad himself in the raiment that the unwedded maiden gave him, then Athene, the daughter of Zeus, made him greater and more mighty to behold, and from his head caused deep curling locks to flow, like the hyacinth flower. And as when some skilful man overlays gold upon silver, one that Hephaestus and Pallas Athene have taught all manner of craft, and full of grace is his handiwork, even so did Athene shed grace about his head and shoulders. Then to the shore of the sea went Odysseus apart, and sat down, glowing in beauty and grace. And the princess marveled at him, and spake among her fair-tressed maidens, saying, Listen, my white-armed maidens, and I will say somewhat. Not without the will of all the gods who hold Olympus hath this man come among the godlike Phaeacians. Meanwhile he seemed to me uncomely, but now he is like the gods that keep the wide heaven. Would that such an one might be called my husband, dwelling here, and that it might please him here to abide. But come, my maidens, give the stranger meat and drink. Thus she spake, and they gave ready ear, and hearkened, and set beside Odysseus meat and drink. And the steadfast goodly Odysseus did eat and drink eagerly, for it was long since he had tasted food. This is that moment in the romantic comedy where the nerdy girl takes off her glasses and, oh, sudden shock, she's been hot all along. It was just the glasses that were keeping her a nerdlinger the whole time. Athena transforming Odysseus as he bathes. I mean, what is she really doing here? A supernatural makeover to Odysseus? Is she like pumping him up? Or is she just like adding extra conditioner to the water that is going through his hair? Like she just kind of, when no one's looking, waves a magic wand over the olive oil that is just going to make him glisten just a little bit harder in the sun, catch everyone's eye. His hair is going to be just a little bit more bouncy. And look, I realize I'm not trying to be glib about this. We are in a moment of levity in a pretty dark story, so I'm just trying to have my fun here. We talked about interpretation a lot when you get on set with the performance specifically. So like when we talked about Helen, how do we play Helen? What intentions are we giving her? In our adaptation of the Odyssey, how are we playing Odysseus? Are we casting a sex symbol like Brad Pitt at his height, or I don't know, Chris Hemsworth? I don't even know who the beefy hot guys are these days, but there's this line here that I think you can really play for like a bit of a cheeky sort of back and forth with the audience. Something for those in the audience who love the hard bods. This line of Odysseus, I pray you stand thus apart, while I myself wash the brine from my shoulders and anoint me ... But in your sight I will not bathe, for I am ashamed to make me naked in the company of fair-tressed maidens. Okay, we just read that as it is on the page. You can imagine, like, we're selling the sex in this scene. He is a naked guy. I'm assuming using that little stick of his to cover for modesty, covering what he can. Does he play that line a little like flirtatious? But in your sight I will not bathe, for I am ashamed to make me naked in the company of fair-tressed maidens. I mean, listen, no one's casted me to be sexy, I'll tell you that. But you know what I mean? Like, or do we play it with more honor? But in your sight I will not bathe, for I am ashamed to make me naked in the company of fair-tressed maidens. You know, is it more chaste? If we're doing our kind of Emerald Fennel adaptation of this, we got Jacob Elordi doing some sexy stuff with a little accent and an earring hanging out of his ear. Or do we go the BBC PBS route and just make it a straight noble act of a loyal man far from home? I am spending an inordinate amount of time on this. Let's continue with other things that came from today's passage. Oh my god. I think the more important thing is Nausicaa's reaction here. I wouldn't go so far as to be diminutive in saying she's tittering a little bit to her maidens when she speaks to them off to the side. She's basically saying, I was a little skeptical of him at first, but once he came out of that stream, holy cow, not even sure if he's a mortal or God himself, if you get what I mean. And what do you think? Maybe there's a chance. Do you think maybe there's a chance he'd want to be my husband and stay here forever? You think that? Do you think that? I mean, that's not going to end well. That's only going to end in heartache for her. Assuming. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm going off of how he reacted to Calypso. Maybe he won't with Nausicaa. I guess we'll find out. We got 3 episodes left of Book 6, so join me here tomorrow as we hurtle toward the end. Until then, okay, goodbye. Odyssey is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. The show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Odyssey, written by Homer. Theme song by Neuroflow. You can support this show and other shows like it by going to patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.